You know, it's funny. Sometimes the best way to tell somebody what to do is by telling them what not to do. Today, I want to talk about 7 things that you should never do during an OSHA inspection. Let's check it out. Hey, before we get started with the video, I wanted to take a quick time out and tell you how you can download a free OSHA audit checklist. Simply go to my website, Help with OSHA. You can click right there on the homepage and you can download a free OSHA audit checklist. This is the best way to prepare you and your team for an unexpected OSHA inspection. All right, so I want to talk to you today about 7 things that you should never do during an OSHA inspection. And some of them you'll go, well, yeah, I would never do that anyway. And then some of them you might go, yeah, that's one that I've done in the past and I don't want to do that one again. So let's talk about it. The very first thing I've got here is something that sometimes we get caught off guard. You don't want to be rude during an OSHA inspection. So the very first thing is don't be rude. When the inspector comes in, ask him if he wants a cup of coffee. Ask him if he needs to use the restroom. Make sure he's comfortable. Put him into the conference room or into an office where you can prepare your team for the inspection. And make sure that you treat them, like a human being. You want to be friendly. You want to start the inspection off on a good note. So don't be rude to the inspector. The second thing, don't lie. Now you're probably going, well, David, I wouldn't lie. I'm not talking about any kind of lies. No white lies, no misguided information. We want to be completely truthful with the OSHA inspector. We don't want to do anything that we got to walk back later on. That kills our integrity. It's bad overall for everybody. And trust me, if they catch you in a lie, boy, they're going to dig in 10 times as hard. So please never, ever lie to the OSHA inspector. With that being said, don't overshare. There's a big difference between telling a lie and telling way too much of the truth. And what I mean by this is you want to paint your company in a good light because you're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to look out for your employees. So make sure that you don't overshare by telling them every bad thing that's happened in the past 6 months. You want to stay on the scope of what they're looking for, meaning we don't want to expand it into 5 other things. If they come to do an inspection based on an employee complaint, you want to stick to what that employee complained about. You don't want to say, well, listen, I know you came here because you're worried about our chemical labeling, but man, our forklift, we really need to improve that program too. Or our crane and hoist, we haven't inspected those in 2 years. If you've got other problems, take care of that yourself internally. Don't tell them about it. Please, just take care of it yourself. You don't need one more thing to worry about. All right, the fourth thing, do not argue. Don't argue. Don't be confrontational. Don't be a jerk. Kind of goes with the first one of not being rude. But there's going to be stuff that they say that you don't agree with, and that's okay. You can ask questions to clarify. You can, try to explain what your intent was, but have an open dialogue, an open conversation. Take lots of notes, take lots of pictures of what's going on during the inspection, but don't argue, don't be confrontational, don't try to, throw your weight around. That doesn't help at all. You don't want to be a bully just because he's at your facility on your turf. You want to be kind, friendly, ask questions, try to find out really what they're looking for. What's the root cause of why they're there? All right, number 5. Number 5 is don't fix it. Now, you might be wondering, what does this mean? Well, really simple. If you find a hazard while you're walking around with the inspector, do not fix the hazard in front of the inspector. And here's an example I've seen firsthand. We had a cracked electrical outlet, right? A little electrical outlet that was cracked and damaged. OSHA inspector saw it, took a picture of it, was commenting on it, and right at that moment, the maintenance personnel went and got a screwdriver and started taking the cover off the electrical outlet. Now, that might not be a big deal, but to the OSHA inspector, he wasn't using the proper kind of tool. He wasn't turning off the electricity before he did it. There were several problems that happened that were unsafe as a result of him being in a hurry to fix this damaged outlet. If you're going to fix something, wait until the OSHA inspector has left that room and then have your team fix it. And then as you go to do the closing conference at the end of the audit, you can say, oh, by the way, we corrected that issue that you found. We've already fixed it. We've already gotten ahead of it. That's good. Don't fix it in front of the inspector. That could lead to more problems. All right, number 6. Now this is actually after they have left the facility. Don't forget to follow up. In my OSHA audit course, I explain this in great detail. There is a sweet spot of a timeline for when you want to follow up with an email, when you want to follow up with a phone call, because you want to have good communication with that OSHA inspector after they've left the facility. They want to know that after they've left, you've taken what they're talking about seriously. So you want to respond and actually follow up. If they come on a Tuesday and they don't hear from you for 3 weeks, they're not going to feel like you really took it seriously. So we want to make sure that we follow up with them on a timely manner. Number 7, don't forget to communicate with your employees. So we just talked about following up with the OSHA inspector. Now we're talking about following up with our own employees. You see, what happens is when OSHA comes into a facility, everybody knows it. It's not a secret. And people start talking, they start talking in the break room, they start talking in the parking lot, and they get a little scared, a little antsy. They're not knowing what's going on. And the last thing they want to feel is that you're keeping them in the dark. Okay? The employees want to know what's going on. So the best thing you can do is actually have a meeting and just call a quick meeting and say, hey guys, we had OSHA come in here yesterday. Here's the issues they were concerned with. We've jumped on it. We're fixing those. We've already corrected some of them now. We're looking for suggestions from you guys to make this a safer work environment. Treat it as it should be treated, like you guys are a team working together. It's not employees versus employer. It really is, hey, we all want this to be a positive, safe working environment. So those are 7 things that you don't want to do during an OSHA inspector or during an OSHA inspection. If you've got more questions, check out my website, helpwithosha.com. Download a free checklist for how to prepare your team for an unexpected OSHA audit. And until we talk again, do everything you can to keep your employees safe, because no one should get hurt at work.